It's January 2020, so we have to acknowledge the near future. New consoles are coming. Brace yourselves. So we're talking to console players today, and we figured we'd take a look at what we know so far, playing a little catch-up from both Microsoft and Sony's offerings, and also do a little speculation. How are these consoles going to be different from one another? How will they take advancements late in this stage of the current console cycle and run with it all? Or not run. It's interesting to talk about because, when boiled down, it's two new pieces of plastic, yet again, playing video games on discs and digital with seemingly standard controllers. At first glance at the info we have, it doesn't seem like they're going to stand out from one another that much, but we do think they really are. So let's have a little fun and dig in. First, let's do the obligatory specs comparison. Thankfully, there's a decent bit of info straight from the source on both ends. According to Sony themselves in a Wired article they participated in, the PS5 will be using an 8-core, 16-thread CPU based on AMD's Zen 2 base. The GPU is apparently a custom spin on AMD's Navi architecture, apparently capable of rendering ray tracing. Now, Xbox Series X is apparently also based on AMD's Zen 2 CPU architecture, making it, as some have rumored, 4 times as powerful as the Xbox One X. Now, devs have also gone on record saying the next Xbox is more powerful than the next PlayStation, but that's just thrown around. I gotta say, we gotta wait until we get some real hardcore results. 4K 60 FPS is what everyone wants, and I'm assuming that it's the target goal for both consoles. There's also lots of talk of 8K support, but I say that in quotes because it might just be upscaling trickery. We have to wait and see on all of this. The hardware spec stuff isn't where I like speculating. Word of mouth doesn't really help in this situation, so let's let it play out, and to be honest, we'll all let Digital Foundry decide. They're also both confirmed to have Ultra HD Blu-ray drives, and they both have controllers that are said to be pretty similar but slightly revised. Most notably, the new DualShock controller is said to have much stronger vibration and haptic feedback and resistance in the triggers, as well as battery life. They both have little change-ups on menu and option buttons as well, it seems. But the next Xbox and next PlayStation will be taking advantage of solid-state drives for storage, and that's gonna be great. As a PC player, I can tell you SSDs have been changing the game for a while, and Sony went on record saying that their SSD tech is different from anything else out on the market and will drastically change how quickly a game can load in giant worlds at a pretty rapid pace. Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, has also went on record saying he likes how Sony is also investing in SSD technology. Now, on the hardware side, I think load times and SSD stuff will be the most noticeable thing for the next generation of consoles. 4K and ray tracing is fantastic, yeah, but if developers are working with a base that is dramatically faster, that leaves room for innovation, new stuff in games. Technology that improves or changes how games are played, big or small, is more exciting to me than just shinier graphics. I also want to point out that just because not enough YouTubers do, even us sometimes, look, we're just armchair analyzing here. We're not experts. We're just having fun. Now, speaking of graphics, we can't really do any comparisons on how they differ yet, obviously, but if you're desperate for something pretty to look at, consider that Godfall was pretty much the first officially announced PS5 game with a trailer and everything. That's a thing. And then on the Xbox side, we have the trailer for Hellblade 2: Senua's Saga. Both of these games do look, exciting and very advanced and pretty, but again, we can't judge until it's in front of us. Now, the stuff to watch for the next generation of consoles, to me, is the actual strategy behind them. The games and the content and how you get it. This is where it all gets interesting, so let's break it down. First, let's talk exclusives. There's been some ground-shaking announcements lately about both of the heavyweights' approaches to the game's next generation. It seems like things are being thought out a little bit differently. First, Xbox. Now, as you guys probably know, Microsoft and Xbox has been doubling down on the ecosystem. They want you playing and buying and streaming games from their service. The console or the platform is of secondary importance. Hence why Xbox Game Pass has become such a big thing, allowing you to pay a subscription and have tons of access to games, new and old, including every official first-party exclusive game from Xbox. It's all available on PC as well. Now, as far as Microsoft is concerned, you're paying for their subscription. They get your money on a recurring basis. They've also been acquiring studios under the banner of Xbox Game Studios. Ninja Theory is a prime example, as we mentioned Senua's Saga earlier. This is with the intention to seemingly make up for the common criticisms of the Xbox One when people say, Xbox One has no games. Now, knowing that and jumping off of that, this most recent Xbox news is interesting. In an interview with MCV, Microsoft's head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, revealed that the Series X would not have any titles that were entirely exclusive to it at launch. This is straight up, I think, to promote the Xbox ecosystem people are buying into. They want people onto the brand, and they don't want to risk alienating people that don't run out and buy the big, bad new Xbox Series X the day it comes out. Backwards compatibility is going to be one of their phrases, and one way to do that is to make sure that, at least at the start, some exciting new Xbox games will still work on a regular old Xbox One. Now, we've seen some folks say that that's going to hold back some of the Xbox's new games, development-wise. Who knows? PlayStation has also expressed having PS4 backwards compatibility, which is important, and I think most people want that. It's 2020. It's not the first console round. I'm happy that these things seem like more of a given now. Backwards compatibility, for the longest time, console makers made it seem like it was a big impossible thing. And oftentimes, because of the architecture, it was. But I'm glad things are looking up. Xbox games are, of course, playing nice with PC, and it's worth noting that Halo Master Chief Collection's Reach is available on Steam. It's a little bit more complicated than that, and I won't get into it now, but it's an interesting step, and I wonder how far it's going to go. Couple this with the news that Horizon Zero Dawn is potentially coming to PC. This was a big PS4 exclusive, and although it's just a reported rumor right now, it's apparently fairly credible. Heck, even though the way it was made, it's not a full exclusive, but Death Stranding is coming to PC. We do know that. But Horizon Zero Dawn on PC would be an absolutely immense move for PlayStation, who has always played things pretty close to the chest. Like cross-platform multiplayer, which is now something I'd say to expect to see a lot more of it in the future. It's starting to finally feel like Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox are becoming best buds and are willing to work together, at least on a case-by-case scenario, and just let their players play together. And I just expect this type of thing to grow. But in Sony staying traditional, it does seem very much like they are planning to launch PlayStation 5 with a bunch of big exclusives in the traditional sense. According to a report, not every PS5 launch game will be playable on a PS4. They're not doing the Xbox Series X to regular old Xbox One thing, at least allegedly, pretty much like how things have been in previous generations. Kotaku has noted that Sony wants to do a next-gen console launch with a bunch of games that are only on PlayStation, and PS5 specifically, as the selling point. Sony and PlayStation have had leadership changes and direction changes in recent years, and there have been quotes suggesting that Sony is doubling down on their quality exclusives lineups, most importantly. So basically, PS5 could be going in the direction of the PS4 and its exclusives, only now with better graphics. Now, I don't say that in a derogatory sense. I don't mean that's a bad thing by any means. It's Sony sticking to what works for them, and they're giving the people what they want. Now, PS Now as a service will also be on PS5, and we expect it to continue to improve and become more of a contender if you're interested in that type of thing. Now, apparently there's no plans for them to bring it to smartphones, but I expect them to change their mind on that soon. That's just me. They should. Microsoft's Project xCloud has also been making moves, allowing you to stream most of your Xbox library with saves and achievements right to a phone or device. Now, although these services differ, they're still kicking the pants off of the competition that is Google Stadia. Sony, Microsoft, and PC games, and marketplaces in general, will likely succeed in this environment just because they don't have to climb the hill of convincing people to buy streamable games on their unique store. That's been the hardest sell for Google Stadia for people who even want to take advantage of streaming. PlayStation, Xbox, and PC just have the advantage of people are already buying and playing games on that thing, so maybe they'll consider streaming it. And I expect that, whether we like it or not, to just be a thing that grows. Now also, in less serious note, both consoles are also keeping their logo design pretty similar to the previous generation. That might not say anything at all, or if you're willing to read into corporate graphic design philosophies and mission statements, I don't know, maybe it does. I see they're similar to last gen logos and see, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is still PlayStation, this is still Xbox. We want you guys to just think the same thing you've been thinking when you see our brands. But we don't really have time to dive into consumer psychology. I don't know, I'm not qualified. The great unknowns are still pretty big at the time of making this video. There are leaks about the Xbox's ports, but we still don't have concrete info on everything. We still don't know what the PS5 hardware actually looks like. All we have are the developer kits, which... yeah, I don't think they're going to make the PS5 look like that. I would love to be proven wrong because I think when consoles do look dumb and weird and crazy, it's more exciting, but who knows? Also, price is the other thing, and that's all over the place. People are guessing everything. Who's going to be higher? Xbox is going to be pushing hey, our system is powerful, like a PC. It even looks like one. Also, 4K, 4K, 4K. So it'll probably be priced pretty high, but there's also word that Sony might have the higher price points as they just want to emphasize their quality and their games. But we don't know for sure yet, obviously. I'd expect both of them to come in higher than usual because video game consumer spending is high and they know they can probably get away with it, at least for early adopter suckers like us. But that's where we're at. That's where they're different right now. You can compare specs and prices and how the things look, but I think the approach to publishing and selling games and using the platform is where these things are going to start to stand out for most. Xbox just wants you in the door. PlayStation knows what they got and they know you want it. But they might also start putting stuff on PC, and PC gaming is just continuing to grow, so they're going to acknowledge them in different ways. There's still a lot of unknown factors. And to be honest, this video is a little premature. We'll be revisiting topics like this again for sure. Just don't believe everything you hear until all is actually revealed. But this is where we think things might be going, and this is all the info, at least for most of you if you care to be kind of caught up. So I'm sure we're going to be perfectly civil now down in the comments about PlayStation and Xbox. We're very much looking forward to hearing what you guys think, where you think things are going. Try to really separate yourselves from the battlefield that is the ever-continuing console wars. Some of the moves that they are making are in line, some of them are very different in completely different lanes. What do you think about who's doing what and if it makes sense? Let's talk about anything like that down in the comments. But if you're new, consider subscribing because we put out videos every single day. Either way, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.